If you're a 6.5 hunter and you want to push things to the limit, this Berger factory ammunition could be just what you need. Gavin here from UltimateReloader.com. That's right, Berger makes one of the most extreme bullets for the 6.5 millimeter caliber. We've tested Berger's 156 EOL Extreme Outer Limits hunting bullet in 6.5 Creedmoor and in 6.5 PRC. There's a whole bunch of load workup data about the bullets themselves. But what if you don't hand load or you don't have time to hand load? Berger is now offering this 156 EOL in 6.5 PRC as a factory ammunition offering, and in this video we're going to talk all about it. I shot this ammunition in my full custom 6.5 PRC. You might have seen the HNT 26 MDT chassis story here recently. I've also got my Berger B14 HMR Wilderness that we used for this story as well. I wanted to give a little bit of variety in terms of the test rifles. We also tested suppressed and unsuppressed. But before we get into those results, let's talk about specs and data. So directly from the Berger website, this cartridge is identified as an elk cartridge, right? Elk on down in the big game hunting category. It's got the hybrid ogive, it's got a consistent core construction for the bullet, and it's a boat tail, so it's got a really good BC. And being a 156, it's also pushing the limits in the weight category. So the G7 BC is .347. You need 1 1/8 twist or faster, which I've got in both of the rifles I just described. The cartridge overall length is 2.955 inches. Muzzle velocity is 2960, spec'd from Berger with a 26-inch barrel, and muzzle energy is 3,035 foot-pounds. That is a good bit of power. And then if you go to the Berger website, they also have a drop chart. Now, assuming that you have a muzzle velocity of 2960 and assuming that you're using a 200-yard zero, you're going to have 6.24 inches of drop at 300 yards and about 17.8 inches of drop at 400 yards. So that is definitely really respectable performance and gives you a lot of flexibility in the field if you're using this factory ammunition, or if you're hand loading with these bullets, you're going to be able to meet, if not exceed, this performance based on your hand loading techniques and your comfort level pushing pressures, that kind of thing. So what we did for shooting was I shot the Berger suppressed with the Banish 30. I've got a new Coltac corset cover that has extreme temperature capabilities. I want to try it out. That worked out really well. So I shot 2 5-round groups suppressed. I took off the suppressor, shot 2 more 5-round groups, and then I brought out the HNT 26 full custom, and I focused on suppressed only for that. So I shot 2 5-round groups with that as well. One of the 5-round groups was kind of at standard pacing, and then I did one that was kind of more slow fire. And for that slow fire string, I did not use the chronograph. I was taking my time. I was waiting about 10 minutes between each shot or 2 shots depending, and really took my time, and I didn't film that, so I don't have footage of that either. So here's the chronograph data. We averaged 2866.4 feet per second. I had an average SD single digit 9.6 feet per second and an average extreme spread of 24.3. Now, I should note here that both of these rifles have 24-inch barrels, whereas Berger used a 26-inch barrel. They're at about 90, 95 feet per second higher. Your results are going to vary depending on the conditions and everything. And the best performance we had here in terms of the consistency of the velocity, highlighted in yellow, was with the HNT 26 suppressed, and that was 2889.6 feet per second average for that string, an SD of 5.1, and an extreme spread of 13. If I was shooting a PRS match, I would be super happy with that performance. And in terms of accuracy testing, basically this was about 1 MOA ammo in both of these guns, which is pretty typical. I'll typically see maybe 1.25 inches out of factory ammunition not tuned to the rifle. This is not hand-loaded ammunition. I typically do quite a bit of tuning and load development to get, results that for these rifles are going to be down in the 1/2, to 3/4 MOA range for a hunting rifle like these. So yeah, the overall average was 1.051 inch for a 5-shot group at 100 yards, and that works out to 1.004 MOA. So we're going to call that an average of 1 MOA. The best results for accuracy were obtained with the HNT 26 Full Custom, a 5-shot group measuring 0.885 inches, which is 0.845 MOA. Really good results, but we didn't stop there. We also shot this factory ammunition into ballistics gel. Let me get this cut open so that we can get the metrics from that testing. So if you take a look at the high-speed footage, this was some pretty drastic carnage. It went through 2 blocks, it went about 18 inches into the ballistics gel and had a peak cavity diameter in maximum expansion before it started to contract of about 12 inches. So if you can imagine, you know, a basketball about 12 inches in diameter, that's how big the wound cavity is at its peak for this specific gel that we're testing here. That is a lot of carnage and a lot of damage. And here's the bullet. The core did not separate from the jacket, which is great. In terms of expansion, we went from 264 to 617. So it ended up at 233% of its original diameter, or gained 133% over the original diameter, which is great expansion. I think we saw that with the penetration. Obviously, if it didn't expand at all, it would probably go straight through. In terms of weight retention, we observed a final weight of 71.9 grains. So that's only 46% of its original weight, but we didn't have any separation and we had really good expansion. So I'm thinking in terms of lethal ballistics, that's going to translate to a pretty good equation there for hunting. Here's what I would like to know from you all. Based on what we've shown and based on your experience with hunting using 6.5 millimeter bullets, what do you think of the 156 EOL performance here? I would have no hesitation using this on elk-sized game for sure. And as I just showed in the HNT 26 full custom scenario, in that video, this hunting rifle is incredibly confidence and inspiring, especially when paired with the Banish 30 suppressor. That's going to keep my ears safe. This thing is very stable in a variety of shooting positions, and with this specific ammunition, I would be good to go. Of course, I could hand load as well, and we've shown multiple times that these bullets are capable of half MOA performance, which is really, really awesome for hunting ammunition. And if you just want to run factory ammunition, of course, there's trade-offs with performance and with accuracy. With hand loads, you could definitely tune it to your rifle, and you can't do that with this type of ammunition unless you run something like the Eric Cortina tuner brake, which we've had great success with. So that's a long way to say, tell me about what you're doing with extreme 6.5 hunting, what kind of setup you're using, what kind of bullets you're using, what kind of hand loads you've worked up, what kind of factory ammunition is working best for you. Drop a comment and we'll start a discussion. As always, you can click on that first link in the video description. We'll have a detailed article with all of the statistics and data and information that I shared in this video in even greater detail. Thank you for watching. That concludes this video, and that means it's time to wrap it up. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Also, make your voice heard. If you have something to say, please drop a comment. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications because you're not going to want to miss the awesome content that is coming up. And finally, flex your reloading pride. You could look great in one of these t-shirts. We've got multiple designs at the Ultimate Reloader store. I'll see you later because I'm off to go shooting.